Okay, Wanted. Put out a review on Reddit for the 4K. I thought it was excellent. Let's take a quick look. Talked about the video, the audio, but the scores here real quick. 5 out of 5 video. It's a good one. It's really, really, really good. Audio 4.5, also very good. It's a 5.1 mix. I'm fine with it not having Atmos. That's fine. It's still a good mix, so that's really what I care about. It's just got to be a good mix, and I'm fine with that. If they don't have the budget to do a Atmos mix, then so be it. That's fine. Yeah, it's incredible. The encoding quality is, for me, second to none. It really is. It's up there with Django, which is the best transfer on 4K Ultra HD right now. Still, what's that? 2 years later, 1.5 maybe. This summer it might be 2 years. Still the best transfer on 4K for film grain, at least. It's a perfect example. Not imperfect. It's a perfect example of film. It really is. We're transferring this from a scan to digital, encoding it digitally, but you can't tell this process happened. That's what I want. It is a visually lossless experience for me. This is what I look for. This is what I look for in transfers. Where you can't tell that it's really been transferred. Like, what am I looking at? Am I looking at the original file? You can obviously see, like, when you're streaming something that, okay, it doesn't look perfect, does it? There's breakdown of things in the corners and things like that. There's none of that with this. And I just don't think streaming platforms could get close to this within the next 20 years. I really don't. So, you're reducing your bitrate on streaming to what, 15 megabits per second, maybe less sometimes. It's impossible to do this. You just can't do this. It's just, there's no way. Grain resolves faithfully through the entire movie. Yeah, it's perfect. I couldn't find a scene where grain didn't resolve absolutely perfectly. You could put the 35mm on one screen and the 4K next to it, and I don't think you could tell the difference. That's how good this is. Yeah, I couldn't floor it. This is the best transfer I've seen this year, easily. No edge enhancement, no crush, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, there were a couple of times though. This is style, which I just don't like. These early 2K movies, they were trying anything. And I still see it sometimes, maybe in some modern movies, but they're maybe a little cheaper. Weird frame rates are used, like to make things look sometimes either smoother or just presented in a different way. I don't like any of that. I just don't like it from a style perspective whatsoever. I hate it. I just want 24 frame, nice, and that's what that's what I like. Don't give me 60 frames per second. This isn't that, obviously, but I'm not watching movies in 48 and 60 frames per second. It's not good. That's not what film is. But yeah, there's I think he was coming out of his apartment one time, and you could see there's a train above him, and there's some like juddy frame rate and stuff. It's just not, didn't look good at all. Maybe a stock shot. I mean, I just don't know. That just didn't look good. But some of these little imperfections, they were so small and minor that they don't really ruin the presentation of the movie. Most of the movie is just sheer excellence. So color grading, yeah, it's I think it's how you'd expect a 2K movie to look. I recently watched John Wick, and we're getting into a very, very modern release now, only a few years old, right? That's got insane color, black levels and everything, and that's how modern movies look. This does look like a 2007 movie, but it's still extremely good. So took some screenshots. Let's go full screen. Yeah, nothing really to see here. Just grabbed it. That's it. Well, the first thing is brightness. Incredible. Really, really good. I was surprised it was grabbing this much brightness. If anything, we're overexposed. We're on the edge here. We're really on the edge here of clipping. But I'd prefer to have so much light in my image, even if we have something like this. For me, it's better to have this than what we have with some of the Disney color grading that's going on right now, which is I can't actually see what's going on. Like, I just can't see. Yeah, we're in a bright office, but modern movies, or some of them at least, just bring all of this down. Why? This looks really nice image. There's lots of brightness here, lots of detail. Yeah, it's just good. Film grain is so the best way to always see film grain and where my eyes go. There's lots of other shots that do this too. You want to look for flat areas. Anything that is flat, I know my camera's here, so it doesn't matter, but this is just a ceiling. Anywhere that is flat, you can see grain consistency there. And whether grain resolves. Does this grain here resolve into blocks or blocking of any kind, or smoothing? Does the focus change in any way? No, it doesn't. It's absolutely perfect. It's just incredible. And this is like from shot to shot to shot, everything resolves perfectly. There'd be grain's extremely difficult to see in still images, so can't really point it out too heavily because the grain structure in this movie is light. So yeah, it's in a screenshot. To see grain, you have to see moving images. It's just you can't point out a lot of grain in a still image, and then unless it's styled where it's absolutely obvious, maybe like in something like Django, you can do it. But again, the amount of light on her face, how we're lighting scenes in this movie, it's on film, it's not digital. Yeah, they know how to do it back then. So, I mean, look, I know we're in a teething period right now with these digital cameras from the early 2004s, 2005s, and onwards. But back here, I mean, this is 2007. They know how to light. They know how to light rooms. They know how to light people's skin. I really appreciate that, and I always appreciate that on film, that they do this. It's just good. So, really nice shot here. Great detail, focus on his face. Now, darker side of things, if anything, we have got a little bit more noisy here, but again, the transfer resolves this absolutely perfectly. It's not breaking down into blocks, it's not smudging, it's not doing anything of this. It's just excellent. Grabbed it because it's a great shot, it looks really cool, yeah, well... I mean, look, the special effects are a little bit wild, Let's just say that. It is what it is, I'm not a fan, but I probably wasn't a fan when the movie came out either of special effects like this. We're really coming off of the tail end as well of The Matrix. To me, this movie is inspired by that. There's a lot of effects that were going on in that movie that this movie has. That's what it is. I'm not a fan, but really, really nice shot here. So again, this is a this is a wall, but you know, I look for this door here, right? It's flat. I'm looking for instances of grain breakup. Can the transfer team at Shout Factory put enough bitrate, put enough their encoding settings and things like that to resolve everything here? Could it break down anywhere? No, it doesn't. It's just really, really good. From what I saw, I had a quick look. I guess I could have inspected the file, but it doesn't really matter. The average bitrate from what I saw most of the time was 90 plus. When you're in the 90 plus, you can resolve film grain essentially perfectly, and that's what they've done here. Nice shot. It's I wouldn't. This resolution, it's not as pin sharp as. Well, I'll go back to John Wick, right? John Wick. It's digital. It's almost too precise. It doesn't have that look. It does have that filmic look that is potentially a hair soft on objects, but it looks, to me, it looks just much more natural. Again, we're on the edge of overexposed here, which I like the look. It's fine. I like that look. So it's Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy. He looks so young here. My God. Now I was talking to my brother about this, about different shots, about like almost going to school to understand how people shoot, what type of cameras they use, and when to use certain different styles of lenses and focus and that type of stuff. Well, we're in a store here, so think about the psychology of being in a store, of buying something. Everything is on show, including yourself. So even here, everything is in focus, really. Everything. They're in focus, even he's in focus. Like, there's almost nothing here that's not out of focus. So I guess from a mental and psychology point of view, when you are in stores like this, everything is on show, and that is why everything is in focus. So I don't know, it's just something I was thinking about. Typically don't love shots like this. I like shots that focus on particular people and objects themselves, but I did think, I'd started to think about why he would use a shot like this, and I was like, oh yeah, they're in a store buying things, you know. But yeah, it's good. Now again, we've got into focusing on just characters and nothing else around them, so it's hyper focused, and it makes sense for the scene because there's a girl just walked past, and all they're doing is focusing on her. And yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, not as precise resolution and sharpness as, say, as a digital camera, which is, in my opinion, they're actually too sharp. They're too clinical, digital cameras, in my opinion. Again, this looks natural. There's no edge enhancement or anything like that. They're not using any edge or special ways to increase detail on this disc. Shout Factory have done a wonderful job. Absolutely incredible. Again, flat surfaces, look for grain. Can't see any differences. I can't see any instances of breakup, and something that makes me aware of I'm watching something digital. It's just not there. Really great shot. Love this shot. And yeah, always good to get Angelina Jolie image. She looks good here. She looks really good in this movie as well. But again, good resolution, and again, it looks like film. It doesn't look so precisely digital or anything like that. I love that. Captured this shot, wanted to see what Graham was doing in dark details. There is a hair more noise in the dark shots, like in here, maybe, yes, but again, we're not breaking up. There's none of that. There's enough bitrate on the disc that we don't actually break up here. I wouldn't trust what YouTube is doing here if you're watching, watching the video. So, but it is excellent. And yeah, just grabbing some different shots here. And again, nothing specific. I grabbed a bunch of shots and seeing if I would have something to talk about them with. Um, so this scene though was actually interesting because Angelina Jolie was on like the front of the car, like with her legs open and stuff, and she's just shooting guys, and it was, yeah, it was 2007. You know, it's pretty wild. So yeah, really nice focus here, excellent. He's shooting the flies or the bees in the garbage pail, I guess it's called. Um, yeah, really, really nice photography. Just everything was good here, I thought. Grain is resolving absolutely perfectly. You know, it's just superb. Color grading as well. It looks natural. Um, Really good job on the color grading as well. It just looks natural. I'm watching this and I'm like, it translated to HDR perfectly. Really did. Just looks good. So now this shot here, that almost to me looks as though it digital. Not in the sense of there's breakup or anything like that, but there is the focus that they've got on his face is insane. Really, really good. Excuse me. But again, we know how to light Morgan Freeman's face. You know, yeah, sure. There's a higher up here. There might be a spotlight. Don't care. I just don't care. I want my characters lit well. They do that. They know how to do that on film. And I think the reason they can do that is they're just like, well, provide enough light and we might color grade it down anyway, right? For some reason, when they do it digitally today, they color grade everything down too much. Again, I don't know why they do it. They do it. Gorgeous shot. Really, really nice. Superb shot. That is incredible. Hyper focused on a character, just amazing. Again, the backgrounds now, because we're coming out of focus, they become a lot simpler, and you can see if there's any grain breakdown here. None. Again, I mean, I'm going to be repeating myself a lot throughout these images because you know that is what's going on. This actually looks a hair slightly unfocused, maybe slightly, but you know, perfect grain consistency, everything, good shot. Another Jolie shot. I just saw the next Jolie shot and I was like, it looked good, I'm taking it, you know. So, but now this shot I love, right? I don't think they could do this digitally. I don't know if they could do this with a digital camera. Like they have this type of focus on these two characters here and her. She's slightly under focused, I guess you could say, compared to these two. I just, the way digital cameras work, I just don't think they could do it digitally. Unless I'm wrong, you know, if you're into the industry and you're watching this video and you're like, no, digital can do this, but it just looks, I'd swear it just looks different. Analog film has a partial softness around images, whereas digital images have a edginess to them that is just simply impossible to do compared to film. When they get over this, it would be great because it can look closer to film. But right now, in 2023, I don't see this on digital. This type of look. I loved this. When I saw it, I was like, wow, it looks incredible. So, nothing really specific here. So, yeah, let's move on. Good focus. Just going through some of these shots. I think this is a gorgeous shot, it really is. And again, look how much light they're providing to characters. Incredible. It's interesting, you know, 2007, and they was actually using film, which is, when was digital, like, when did they go full blast with digital cameras? Because I thought it was, when they said this movie was coming out, I was like, oh god. This was probably shot digitally, right? It's going to look a particular way, but they were still using film. So yeah, I don't know when everybody fully transitioned over to digital, but I thought it was like way into digital in 2007. Maybe some of the cheaper stuff was like, look, we're just going digital. We're not going to bother with film because it's too much hassle. But it's just good to see, I think. Yeah, there's so much light being provided to this face. It might be slightly overwhelming, but again, I prefer that. I just prefer this look. Excellent focus. When film can be hyper focused, film just looks incredible. It really does. Yeah, I love it. Again, another great shot. Good focus. Black level detail as well in this movie, I think, is absolutely excellent. It just does not crush. It has that filmic black look. Closer to Christopher Nolan, but I think Christopher Nolan's blacks actually go a hair above what this movie does. This movie does have pretty nice blacks, not ultra deep, but very good. But this is what I consider film black, filmic black, where black in the 235 borders is pure black, and we have a raised black in the actual detail itself. Now I know, right? We have a window here. Yeah, sure. We're providing incredible light to his face. But today's cameras, they just don't do this. They would cut all of this down and just make it look a completely different and artificial way. I just don't know why they do it. This looks absolutely gorgeous. Another thing is this room is basically only lit by the windows, and we clip out on the windows with the light. I don't really know too much about cameras, how they work and stuff like that. But like the exposure levels and things like that, is they're allowing so much light to be collected by this room that we are clipping the whites in the windows. I don't actually mind that. I've actually seen this look a couple of times, well, actually a lot of times, but one that rings a bell is Dawn of the Dead. Zack Snyder. He had a look like this as well, where he wanted his shots to look a particular way, and if, say, the sky is crushed and things like that with the amount of light, then that was just the way it was. I don't mind it. I like this look. I like that. And as long as scenes are lit well, which they are, I'm just always happy about. There is a haze here. You see that haze? I see this more on film than I do digitally. So I'm not sure if that is a film thing, that actually happens, but a glow. Things have a glow to them on film. And digital does not do that. Digital is so precise. It doesn't look real though, you know? Do you feel like this? Like the difference between film and digital? Do you see these differences? Because I grew up with it. I grew up in the 80s, so I have transitioned from film to digital, and I see these things. I just see them all of the time. And shooting on film, to me, just to me, I don't know whether you could get this looking the same today with certain cameras, but to me it looks more organic, it looks more real, it looks more believable when you do this, even on a movie like this, which is completely crazy, you know, with the digital special effects. You know, there's like bullets flying in different directions, and you know, it is really a digital movie in that respect from the special effects department. But the way it was shot is just so much more organic and real. I really respect that, and I think it's been lost in a lot of movies today. Gorgeous shot. Really loved this. And again, this is like in a dark room for the most part, but we're lighting our characters really, really well. Excellent. Gorgeous light. Again, I just love the color grading. Grain is resolving absolutely perfectly. I mean, what an incredible job this disc is. It's just superb. This shot is amazing. Not not from the actual shot itself, from him shooting his gun. He's swinging his gun, and goes through a window. I don't know how many people have seen this. Don't probably even want to ruin it, but yeah, this he finally gets it. He's like, oh crap, I have to do this right now, and yeah, it's amazing shot. I love that. Is this the end of my? Should be there, right? Yeah. Okay, so that was 30. Nice. I think this is the image I used for my review image. The frame might be a little bit different because I think I captured it twice, but or a second, I went through again and to check my screenshots. Gorgeous shot here again. Not so clinically focused like digital, just it has a nice smoothness to it. Excellent. Absolutely excellent disc. Definitely the best disc of the year for me. And from Shout Factory, which I have not said so many good things about Shout Factory in the past, or I believe they've made some decisions that I just didn't like. What was the movie? The Craft. I did not like the way that one was done at all. I took it down off the website for a while because I was not happy with it. I was just like, look, I'm not selling this because I didn't think the picture quality was good enough. I just think they'd made a mistake doing it. But I did talk to Shout Factory about this, and there was a lot of source issues and problems with the content of that movie that could not be helped. What I really didn't like, though, is them encoding certain scenes differently based on the quality itself. That would suggest to me they're encoding things to a target level, and once you've reached that target level, you don't need to go higher than that. I'm the opposite opinion to that. For me, this is 4K Ultra HD. You max out all of the time. I don't care if it's the worst quality source you've ever seen in your life, it gets maxed out. Now you could say, well, that's a waste of efficiency. You're wasting bits here. They'd probably, I mean, I don't know if it was a 100 gig disk at the time, but imagine you're using a 100 gig disk, right? And you only used 85 gigabit. Why are you holding back? Why would you hold back bitrate, or anybody hold back bitrate there? What are we doing? Why do you hold back bitrate? Why do you send bitrate down to 10 megabits or 4 megabits per second? What was the point there? What are you saving it for? There was no, I just didn't think there was any need to do that. Anyway, 2022, 2023 now. Shout Factory, for me, will probably be the best, not just indie company, but the best distributor on 4K this year. They're doing everything right. I don't know when to be honest, I don't really know when it was. They started doing some really good transfers, I thought, after we got out of Platoon. Yeah, that was a mistake. But again, even that, in defense of them, the source quality was absolutely trash. Completely trash. They did the best they could. I mean, I looked. They represented it in the best that unfortunately the file was, and the file was absolutely terrible. So at some point that needs to be revisited. But when Shout Factory have the source quality, something this good, they shine, absolutely shine. Just amazing. Are they better or equal to Kino Lorber? I don't know. Kino this year have been a bit slow for me. They've done some Paramount transfers, and unfortunately, because they've come from Paramount have done their thing with them, with grain and things like that, and I just thought they looked okay, right? But then I saw a Kino transfer the other day, the one in Ireland, where it's the Devil. I forget what it's called. Something Rex. And it looked amazing. So, Kino is still there. Again, when the source quality is at a certain level, it's just really good. So these two, Kino Lorber and Shout Factory, I think are going to go back and forth all year. One benefit, though, I think Shout Factory have is that they just simply release more. I think they're banging them out this year, and they're just pumping everything out. If their discs are not 4 out of 5, they're 5 out of 5 right now, as long as the source quality is good or acceptable. Like I said, this is Wanted from 2007. On the face of it, does it look as dynamic and powerful colors as, say, John Wick, like I've said before? No, it doesn't. But the transfer and the release itself represents the film in, I think, its highest quality that it possibly could ever look. If we ever, and this is a big if, and it's not going to happen, but we got onto an 8K format, and they got a perfect transfer, even on that, right? I don't think it's going to look better than this unless the 8K scan, unless they actually 8K scanned it, somehow brought more of something out. But you've already got HDR, right? You've already got 10-bit color. Even if you went on to 12-bit color, you can't truly utilize 12-bit color unless you have 10,000 nits. We've reached that point in digital, in home video, so to speak. We have reached the pinnacle of what a movie can look like. We've got 4K resolution from a 4K DI. We've got grain that resolves absolutely perfectly. Where else is there to go after this? The codec itself they're using to transfer this is X265. There's going to be improvements to that made over the years to come. Now, are they going to be big and it's going to be like, whoa, it's a game changer? We can now transfer at 50 megabits per second instead of 90. No, it's not going to be that big. But even Blu-ray using X264 has come an incredibly long way since it was first released. I don't know, is it 20 years old now? X264? It may be. Can't really remember. We're getting on for there. Yeah, we must be, because Blu-ray was what, 2006? So look how things have changed. Like, you can pretty much almost get perfect Blu-rays nowadays if you really put it in. A lot of people still don't put it in. But yeah, look, we've got to this stage on the 4K format where if the company transferring it wanted to, they can get it looking as good as it possibly can, to the point where it is not worth releasing another version because this version's so good. That's what we have here. That's what Shout Factory have achieved with this movie. It cannot look better than this, in my opinion. It just cannot look. That's why I reviewed it a 5 out of 5. It's just incredible. So yeah, big fan of this release. Movie's fun. It's okay. It's good. It's a good movie. It's a good popcorn flick. Yeah, we got the popcorn ready for this movie. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Now, back in the day when this movie came out, I was probably like, oh no, this is really cheesy. But to be honest, I watched this time and I enjoyed it. I don't know whether it is. See, I think the 4K format as well, when things have done right and everything's presented in how it should be, 10-bit color, HDR, uncompressed sound. I just enjoy movies better when things are presented in a really, really good way. And that's why I love this format. I think I said even on Twitter the other day, I was like, this format for me is at the pinnacle now of what home video actually is. Transfers from everybody are getting so good, I hardly have to make a post anymore saying, you guys suck. I don't really have to do that anymore. I've had to do it with Disney. I've had to do it with Paramount because they're still a little. To be fair though, Disney, the last 3 transfers they've done on 4K, all of them have been good. Now, you can say color grading of Wakanda Forever was not good. I didn't like that. But that was outside of the control of the transfer itself. They get the file sent to them, right? They load it into the computer and they transfer it, and they're not changing the color grading and things like that. They're transferring it as it was, and they did a really good job. What else did they do a good job with? Lightyear was a good transfer from Disney. Thor, Love and Thunder, that was incredible. And again, it's digital, right? So it looked a certain way, and they took advantage of their format. It had no grain. It looked bright, colourful, and over the top, but it looked gorgeous. So right now, we don't have many companies that are producing horrifically bad discs. I used to be extremely tough on companies at the start, and people sometimes said, like, you're probably going a little too hard there. I don't have to write reviews like that anymore. Not really. So it's so good to be in this position. 2023, we've got discs this good. Shout Factory have come a long way with the way they're doing their transfers, and these guys just went all out on this. Love it. Talk a hair quickly. I don't want to go on too long. I know I've gone on long enough already. The sound. Very good sound, has good bass. It's a good surround sound movie. There's like cars whizzing around, there's bullets whizzing around. Really, really good. It's just a good surround sound movie. If anything, the dialogue was a hair low, which, depending on the generation of movies you're watching, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2Ks, you get into this idea of the way they balance sound is slightly different from the generations. Sometimes some movies do have slightly low dialogue, others don't, and they're balanced in a particular way. It just, over the years, you just see where the movies, how they're balanced and things. It's okay. The better your center speaker, the better it is for movies like this, because there's a wider range of sound with dialogue, from whispers, the silent whispers, to somebody shouting. There's more of a range, where today's movies, they're mixing, it's all in a very small, you could say, compressed range, so they're always at the same volume. Yeah, not compression, not in taking away data, just compression more in compressing the range of volume of dialogue. So, yeah, good sound, 4.5, easy 4.5, that is for me. And sometimes, though, be careful what you want. This movie, because it's whizzing around you, the first thing you're going to say is, I wanted an Atmos mix on this. Yeah, me too, right? But be careful what you wish for, because we've had some horror stories from some of the Atmos mixes. What was the Tom Cruise movie by Paramount? War of the Worlds, right? Yeah, it had no bass channel, right? It had no 0.1 channel. There was no bass on it. I think it was lower than 10 dB from what the DTS release on the Blu-ray was. I can't even watch the movie on 4K. I can't do it because it had no bass. Now, you might think I'm just a video guy, but when I'm watching an action movie and the action movie has no bass, I can't watch it. I'll just no. Even if the picture was reference, it was just pure reference, and we had no bass, maybe I'd try and figure something out, like turn my subwoofer up like by plus 12, or I mean, I'd try and figure something out, but it wasn't a reference disc anyway. It was decent transfer, but my point is, I just can't do it. If it's that far gone, where bass is completely taken out of a mix, it destroys the integrity of the movie, the mix, and the whole thing. This they just kept to the 5.1. It costs a lot of money to do Atmos mixes. It's a lot of time. It is a lot of effort. Sometimes I just like them having the original mix, the 5.1 mix. It sounds really good. What more do you want? No, I want to hear the bullets above me. Something could go wrong. That's my opinion on this lately. Is like, is the original mix good? Yeah, then it's fine the way it is. Unless you specifically want to go after it and you're going to get it right, okay, then go ahead. Like Coraline and all of those, they went after it. They knew what they wanted to do. Incredible Atmos upgrade, right? This, how much love would have been put into this mix, been Atmos upgrade? I don't know. Would they have gotten something wrong? Oh, one of the channels was mixed incorrectly. It's already been released on disc. We can't do anything about it. That's that release completely screwed now. I don't mind having this 5.1 mix when it's good like this. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's my thoughts on this. If you even are the smallest fan of this movie, or you just want to see, you want to see movies in as good as they can look, film grain and all. Some people like film grain, some people don't. I love it. It gives it that it gives it a filmic look. I love the look, especially when you can retain it. It doesn't break down, and you can't tell that this is digital in any way. Love it. Great release. Shout Factory, you are on top right now. Keep going. Please keep going. It's excellent. I've seen some of your other releases. I haven't reviewed them, but this year as well. And you're doing excellent work. You will be number one. If you just carry on doing this, you're going to be number one easy this year. Easy. So, that's my review. That's my thoughts on this movie and this release on 4K. Highly, highly recommend it. Excellent. Love to see this. Love to see it. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the messages, the follows, and everything like that on Reddit, Twitter, emailing us, everything. We are a small business, and it is impossible for us to keep up with, Amazon, stuff like that. Impossible. Can't do it. So our prices are, strong compared to Amazon and places like that. But they're based on shipping to Europe and the rest of the world. Typically the prices are not based on shipping something into keeping it in America and things like that. And the reason I did that is because when I was living in the UK, when I was a young kid, I imported Laserdiscs from the US to the UK because the UK releases absolutely stunk, right? The covers were different, the movies were edited heavily. There's just a whole list of things that was just better about US released discs, even back then, and this has not changed. So this is why I think our niche little market here I think it's a good idea of, you want US release stuff, we can send it over you. We're giving you this price. There's no added shipping cost or anything like that. Now, if you want to upgrade your shipping, that's different story. For a box or UPS shipping or a special thing, you can do that. So, yeah, that's really us. That's really our little niche market here. We have we have some really good customers. Well, they're all good customers, but we've got some good customers with us. We're building up really nice here now, and it's good to be a part of a small niche community, from Twitter to the website to even being involved in 4K Ultra HD, that it's a small niche set of people that look for the best quality. You know, I love this format, and I love what I do right now. You know, this is good. It's just good to be a part of all of this. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's my review. Wanted, definitely check it out. Really, really good. So, thanks for watching, and I see you in another one. Bye.